in the story of Exodus, there's the emergence of civilization as an alternative to the tyranny of the Pharaoh and the slavery of the Hebrews. So imagine tyranny and slavery as two poles. You might say, well, is there an alternative to that? That's the same dichotomy as power and hedonistic immaturity. It's the same thing. Okay, is there an alternative? Well, the alternative that's laid out in the book of Exodus, this is what's revealed to Moses, is subsidiary organization. And so, and with an appropriately organized appropriately organized society, you don't need a tyrant and you're not a slave. But what does it mean? There's you. You're married. You're married with a family. Your family are responsible citizens of your town. Your town is a responsible agent in the running of the state. The state is a responsible agent in relationship to the nation. Like there are levels of responsibility that are, so to speak, external to you, but that also define your identity. Your identity isn't something you carry around in your head like the liberal psychoanalysts, let's say, presume, the liberal psychologists for that matter. It's your placement in a functional hierarchy of responsibility. But that's also where you find the meaning of your life. And so the hope of ARC is that we remind people of their subsidiary responsibility. It's like, you don't want a tyrant, you don't want to be a slave. So what do you have to do? Well, you have to take up that responsibility on your own. And that's also the adventure of your life. You need to get married. You need to have some children. Your family has to be an integrated part of your community. You have to serve your state and your nation, and all of that under the divine, all of that under whatever's at the top of the transcendent hierarchy of values. And we pointed to that already. That's, at minimum, that's the principle of voluntary self-sacrifice. And I believe, and I think this is part of being in this post-Enlightenment age, partly a consequence of being wherever the hell we are now, that we can make all that conscious and really understand it. And then, well, I've watched people, who have made this conscious. I've talked to so many young men who were disoriented or attracted by power, let's say, that kind of toxic masculinity that's exemplified perhaps by Andrew Tate.
Yes.
Instead, they take on their responsibility. They find a woman, they get married, they have children, they start to act in a adventurous and entrepreneurial manner, and they're standing up straight and they're looking forward, and away we bloody well go.
And it's a pride that they've earned. Yeah, it's the pride of the gentleman that they've earned. Andrew Tate's not a gentleman.
I think that's fair to say. And the world isn't power and hedonism. That's a sadly impoverished and spiritually shallow and existentially doomed viewpoint. And we can dispense with it. We're done with it.
Yeah. I mean, it is, I think to your point of